Monday Night Wars podcast.
Hello and welcome. That was pretty good, huh?
I like that you said hello and welcome this time. Last time
That's
you
good, right?
missed it, and then you had to go back. Yeah,
that's a good point. But now we're just hello and welcome to the Monday Night Wars. It's May 5th, 1997, and we are at the Jenkins Arena, more like the Janky Arena. I don't know. It seemed fine. I'm just saying that. And it's in Lakeland, Florida.
Oh,
yeah. And I am Scott, and with me is Joseph. Joseph, how are you?
I am good. I will say it is storming right now. Although I think the storm is starting to pass, so I might have a little bit of
stormy night.
Yes, it is. I might have a little bit of weirdness happen during the recording, so we'll figure it out. Good thing we didn't waste like an hour just shooting the shit beforehand.
No, I agree. I think that's very good.
But there's a few.
We did not do that.
Yeah,
Oh, items to discuss.
Yeah. Well, number one, it's Cinco de Mayo, man. Happy Cinco de Mayo. You making some carne asada or something like that?
No. I celebrate. What was it? What was it on Arrested Development? I don't even remember either. But Lucille made a whole holiday because she was mad at the Mexicans for being too loud. I don't. Yeah, that's the holiday I celebrate. Whichever one that was that I can't remember.
Well, at least get yourself a Modelo or something. And then also we have a new Patreon subscriber, Andrew Young. So thank you, Andrew, for supporting the podcast. I guess we should start by saying, hey, like, share, and subscribe, because that seemed to work for us last week. We doubled our subscribers, so that's awesome. But also, if you're looking to try to help support us, the easiest way to do it is Patreon, YouTube, and Spotify. Their monetization rules are insane on how you have to get monetized. We'd have to be banking a lot of subscribers and hours watched to do either of those things. So subscribe to the Patreon if you want to support us. It's only $2 a month. You get every single pay-per-view. You get unedited episodes when we have them. You get the ability to really talk to us one-to-one if you ever need to. And also later on when we start doing the Thursday episodes, we're going to figure out how to work those in as well. So Thunder and SmackDown, when those kind of debut in about a year or so. So we're getting pretty close to that. But that's where you get all that stuff. We made it $2 a month for people who are new, because obviously our YouTube is starting to kind of move up, and we've never really done this before. So for people who are new, and this is kind of the first episodes that they're listening to or watching, the reason we made it $2 a month is we don't want people to have to feel like you can't pay rent to subscribe to our Patreon. We just want to make it really simple, low price. And also every single thing that you put into that is going right back into this podcast, whether it's helping us pay for our software, helping us pay for promotional material, any of that stuff. I mean, if we get big enough, maybe we can start having guests on, but that's so far down the road. I don't even want to think about that right now, but that's what that goes to. It's not like we're pocketing that and spending it on shit. It just goes into the podcast. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for anybody else who wants to.
I thought we were saving it up to buy a podcast cruise.
Yes.
So everyone could go on a podcast cruise with us. Yeah.
Go. And we'll have live wrestling shows and a rock concert. Yeah. Yes. What could go wrong? Than a bunch of wrestling nerds on a ship together.
Speaking of you insulting wrestling fans, if you want to follow our Twitter, you can watch Joseph fight our fans on Twitter. So you've got that going for you as well.
I don't fight fans on Twitter. I don't fight our fans on Twitter. Our fans are wonderful. Our listeners are wonderful. I don't really like using the term fans, but our listeners are wonderful. They're all super sweet, including you, Butt Munch, who's a brand new one. Oh, Ronnie. So got your message. You want us to sign that for you, the shirt. We will do that. There's one of two ways we can do this. We can ship it back and forth to me and Scott, which could absolutely be a nightmare and we would lose it. Or you can wait until July for us to get together, and then we could sign it real quickly and then get it on its way. But then it'll take however long it takes to get to Germany. But we did see it. So just let us know what you want us to do. Anyways, Butt Munch, who's all of a sudden our new subscriber who just keeps
bless him,
messaging us, and I have no idea what his name is, but Butt Munch I'll be Butt Munch forever till the end of time.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Batman forever, but Butt Munch forever.
Yeah, his suit will have nipples too.
It's gotta.
Yeah.
It's gotta.
Yeah.
But I also have an announcement, and it's an apology, really.
Oh, no.
I want to apologize to all of our listeners for a great error in judgment that I made last week.
Okay.
I Juventud Guerrero too hard.
True. Yes.
And I blew out the mic, and so you could not hear it. I have heard you. I have actually gotten messages about this.
Yes.
From people I know who listen to the pod. They messaged me and they said, this is the only thing I listen for.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, I'm a Patreon subscriber. I pay $2 a month, and the only reason I am subscribing is for you to yell Juventud Guerrero, and I didn't get it this week, and I am immensely sorry, and it will not happen again. I just purchased. I spent $120 on a brand new microphone for how guilty I feel about this, and it will not be here for this batch of podcasts, but the next batch. I got the hangy thing, so I can have it like here. Yeah. I got all of it. Joseph.
Should we do a little inside baseball, which normally we say for our Patreon people? We could tell them when that batch will be finished, so they can know, like, hey, here's the definitive, like, from this point on, Juventud Guerrero will shine. It will ring out through the halls.
Well, I think they're just going to know because I'm not going to be wearing the headset. I'm going to have a mic hanging like right here. I think they'll know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think there will be signs.
Yes. Have you tried, and this is just spitballing, have you tried just being better?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I am going to take he's not wrestling tonight. I don't think, at least. I don't recall him wrestling tonight. Does not appear to. But next time I think I might just, if it happens before I get my new mic, I think I'm going to just take it off and scream into it from a distance. We'll see if that works.
I would not be surprised if the audio cut out on that because the noise cancellation is so good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good at cutting that stuff out, which in this case is a problem.
Yes.
But let's get into it. We have taken too much time here. People are tuning out. I will say, like, comment, subscribe, smash all that shit. I hate saying that, but apparently we have to say it because after we said it last time, like, our subscribers doubled. So now we have to say it. So there it is. Do all that stuff. Let's get into it. So like I said, we're with WCW. We're in Florida. We're at the Jenkins Arena. And we start off with the recap of last week's show, Pandemonium. And then we go to the announce table. And we've got Rowdy Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, and Kevin Green, baby. And they're there to talk business. Joseph, tell me about this, and tell me about this NWO catchphrase that they just refuse to let die.
So we started off with, you mentioned the recap. In case you forgot from last week, because it was forgettable, Piper basically just watched Flair get the shit kicked out of him for a while, and then joined in, and then we cut. Because remember, NBA playoffs, which is the same thing today. We got the NBA playoffs preempting this, so this is going to be a shorter episode of Nitro. And so just a weird cut. So Shivani kind of wants to know about that. He wants to know what took Piper so long last week, and Piper's about ready to speak, and then a Tradition Bites banner comes down from behind them, which Kevin Green, he ain't got no time for that. He knows it's a bad catchphrase. He knows the bite me thing is stupid. He's the horseman we should have gotten, and he's our hero today, and he rips down that banner. He has no time for it. Then one comes down right in front of Piper, another one, and Piper gets pissed off, and he rips that one down. And the three men storm the ring instead. Piper says all he sees is paper, because now, if it wasn't enough to have these two banners, propaganda starts falling around the whole fucking ring and all through the audience. It's the tradition bites thing that we had 2 weeks ago, or whenever that were, last week or whatever it was. And Piper says all he sees is paper. He says last week he saw Flair and it was only 3-on-1. So Flair was doing fine. He didn't need his help. And Flair actually agrees to this, which is absolutely insane, but I kind of love in a way. Piper says they if NWO wants 75% of the purse, like they've been saying, he doesn't carry a purse. Okay. JJ Dillon comes out and he says he can't do anything about Bischoff's deals because JJ Dillon apparently has zero power. But if Piper doesn't show up, then he will be in breach of contract. So Piper will actually be punished. What is this angle? Where is this going?
Whose side is JJ Dillon on?
That's my point.
I thought he was here to stop the NWO, and he's like, I can't do anything about that, but we will kill you if you don't show up. It's like, what?
In front of your little boy who was crying.
Yeah.
Flair says last week he said he didn't know about Hall or Nash, but 6 is his, which is true. He promises when they drive out of Charlotte, there will not be a pothole in the road. And then Kevin Green grabs the mic. And he's about to say something, but then Public Enemy's music plays instead, and he doesn't get to say anything. Terrible. So I'm giving this a D because they robbed us of some vintage Kevin Green, and I don't really know what JJ Dillon's doing.
But what a segue they did.
Yes,
because we're just right into the match. We got Public Enemy versus Hugh Morris and Conan. And it's about 3.5 minutes. Boy, howdy. Did someone get put through a table? Tell me.
Well, I don't know if you like one table, Scott, Hugh Morris and Conan come out with their own table. Awesome.
I believe it.
We get a sloppy match, and Conan gets put on a table, and then Public Enemy places a second table on top of him, and then Johnny Grunge dives off of the top rope to the outside onto these two tables, but Jimmy Hart pulls Conan away, so Grunge takes all the tables, and he just splats on the ground. Then Hart and Conan put another table, so this is the third table, in the ring, and Conan and Hugh Morris accidentally clothesline each other, and then Rocco Rock puts Conan on the table again. So now he's on another table, and Hugh Morris then superplexes Rocco Rock through Conan through the table, and he pins Rocco for the win. And I gave this a second D. I did not like this.
I also thought the spot, like, it was kind of rough. It was a little dangerous, that spot. I was like, my God. But yeah, not great. Someone went through the table. Surprise in a Public Enemy match. Never seen it before. After that, though, we get our pyro because as you mentioned, we just started.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Kevin Green. We're still in the ring when Public Enemy's music starts. So now we get our pyro. We get our introductory WCW pyro, and then that just brings us to our next match because we got to keep rolling. We got to keep rolling because we don't tell stories here. We just do matches. We got Syxx versus Rey Mysterio Jr. And this is a hell of a match, isn't it, Joseph?
It's a hell of something. So before we started this, we were looking at the card, and Scott was like, man, this might be close. It's not close. Because I'm starting to remember what happened in all these. I took these notes forever ago, and I hate this episode of Nitro. So like you said, Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Syxx. Rey is in his Spider-Man gear. That's really cool. And he throws out like some streamers to mimic webs. That's really kind of cool. Syxx comes out in jeans with Hall and Nash. So he doesn't care. It's like this, I already won this match kind of thing, which again, I kind of like. I'm okay with this so far. The 3 men surround Rey. Now, if you remember, I think it was last week or the week prior to that, Rey and Syxx had a match, and then, Kevin Nash beat him up, towards the end of the match when the ref was distracted, and then Rey got stretched out. So you said there's no stories. There's kind of a story here. They're just going to muff it. So, Hall and Nash leave the ring. Syxx attacks Rey Mysterio. Syxx goes for a Bronco Buster, but he gets intercepted at the 1-yard line when Rey kicks him square in the cojones. Rey starts wailing on Syxx and sees Nash coming into the ring. We're kind of mirroring what we had a few weeks ago. So he drop kicks him out, but then he turns and there's Scott Hall, so he drop kicks him as well. Then he attacks Syxx. Then he gets ready for Nash a second time, and the ref is distracted by Nash. So then Hall takes out Rey from behind. Nash having this distraction, Hall goes for the outsider's edge. I always want to call it the razor's edge, but while they're here, it's the outsider's edge. He just absolutely decimates Rey. Syxx locks in the Buzz Killer for the win. But J.J. Dillon runs down to the ring with Nick Patrick. Finally, we are going to see some justice, Scott. It's got to happen, right? Because he is, of
course,
he's the new guy. He's the head, the head of this whole organization.
He saw everything. He saw it all. I mean, he saw Scott Hall do the legally distinct outsider's edge.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to bring justice to this. We cannot allow this to keep happening.
Yes. And he said last time too, this will no longer happen on my watch. So here's what happened. Dillon comes down to the ring with Nick Patrick, and then Bischoff and the rest of the NWO come down to the ring too. Dillon tells Syxx to release the hold or he will reverse the decision. Okay, we're getting some action here. And then Patrick gets thrown right out of the ring, and Bischoff tells Dillon that he has no power and no stroke. And then J.J. Dillon just watches Rey get the shit kicked out of him. And then Syxx gets in JJ's face and says, if you think you're going to pull the same crap you pulled for McMahon here, you got another thing coming. What was the point of bringing in J.J. Dillon in this role and literally not fucking doing anything with him? I found myself genuinely hating every moment of this. I gave it an F.
And again, yes, completely agree with all of that.
Just broke you.
But I want to talk about the McMahon stuff because they make a couple of references to the other promotion up north. They talk about McMahon and how, Nash got tired of his crap in New York and kind of all those references. But I thought the whole point of NWO was that they were guys from WWF who thought that they were better than WCW because they were from WWF. And that's kind of the whole thing. And now they're like, McMahon sucks. We don't like you. So I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on with this. And I don't think they know what's going on with this.
No, this is a weird time, man. The 90s are so much about shock value that like this, and that really was what kind of defined the 90s, like the way media and TV and all that stuff is going. Because this is bad, but people are like eating it up. They're like, it's so good. It's like, no, narratively, storyline wise, this is horrible. That like J.J. Dillon has not done one thing to thwart the NWO. This is so bad. Is it this one? Let me see if it's this one. Let me see.
I will say, while you're looking at that, 10-year-old me was eating this shit up every Monday night. I loved WCW Nitro, which is kind of sad in hindsight, because now I'm watching it again going, oh, this isn't as good as I remember.
So it's either this week or it was the previous week. It's at some point in these couple weeks where you remember when J.J. Dillon debuted and he was like, hey, we can't eliminate the NWO's contracts. They're ironclad. However, there are two individuals who did not make the cut. And one of them is Big Bubba, who's injured. So they have him written off TV. And the other one is Mike Wall Street. And he says they are no longer in the NWO. They can't be. Their contracts did not make it in time in the window. Mike Wall Street, after he says that, is in the fucking NWO. He's actually in one of these moments where they're beating up everybody. Mike Wall Street is there. And it's like, dude.
Contract dispute.
How did you not? Like a week later you couldn't figure out your storyline? Like, dear God.
Well, you know, on like movie productions and stuff, there's a person whose entire job is continuity, right? Yes. They take pictures. They take pictures of everything, like because they're shooting these scenes, same scene over multiple days. So they take pictures of everything. They take pictures of the way the person looked, make sure the mole is on the right side, whatever. And they do that. That's their job. WCW clearly does not have that. There's clearly no one that is responsible for continuity, and they don't care, to be fair. Yeah. I just don't think they care. They're just trying to get over on WWF every week, and they are just throwing shit against the wall. It feels like every week is just a new just throw shit against the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
The only continuity we have, seemingly, is Lee Marshall.
Ooh, big.
Who is live with the 1-800-COLLECT Road Report, and he's in Baltimore. We know a lot about Baltimore.
Yeah, the gods will not save you there.
It's Baltimore, gentlemen. The gods will not save you.
Mm-hmm. We are students of Baltimore.
Yes.
After watching The Wire many, many times. Love Baltimore. Great city. Yeah. Great city.
Absolutely.
As portrayed in The Wire. But Lee's happy to be there.
Yeah, he is.
Nobody's floating for Lee. He's actually down at the Naval Academy. He's getting ready for it at the Baltimore Arena. Mm-hmm. This is like ground zero for WCW. He calls it the epicenter. Baltimore is the epicenter of WCW. I didn't know that, but apparently it is. So tell me about Lee's trip through the Charm City.
So I'm just gonna be real with all the listeners. If you've never watched The Wire, buckle up, because here we go. He says Baltimore is a great city, but I've watched 5 seasons that would beg to fucking differ. It's called Charm City, but it by its residents, but I watched 5 seasons that would beg to fucking differ. It's the birthplace of Babe Ruth, Montel Williams, and Edgar Allan Poe, not to mention Stringer Bell, Avon Barksdale, Omar Little, and Bubbles. Referencing Poe, Lee Marshall, he says, that's why they call the team the Ravens, which is true, and not the Weasels. But on the subject of Weasels, he tells Bobby, listen to me. You need to know that Baltimore is famous for its annual crab festivals as well. Also true. Next Monday, when someone offers to give you their Chesapeake blue crabs, Bobby, that's a good thing. Lee is wilding, and I love it. It's an A+.
Yeah, that one's a little risque, isn't it? But I like it. Yeah. I like that Lee and Bobby are doing a beautiful thing. And it legitimately sometimes is like the only thing that turns my frown upside down when watching Nitro. That's how bad Nitro is getting for me. But yeah. So we got that. But then we got the NWO again. The music hits, and I'll do it for you. And Hollywood Hulk Hogan is in the house, and Eric is there with him, and they've got some stuff to say to the impotent J.J. Dillon as well, don't they, Joseph? Boy, howdy.
Yes, they do. Bischoff says the phones have been melting, and they want to know when Hollywood will beat the Stinger. Hollywood says the Wolfpack will take care of everyone else. The crowd chants, "We want Sting," and he tells them to shut up. He says Hollywood wants the big dog, so bring out Sting and he'll beat him up. And then Hollywood calls himself a god, and then he poses. And that is this entire segment. It's not good. I gave it a D.
Yeah. I don't really got any more.
It's not a good episode of Nitro.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing worth mentioning at this point is that they just kind of randomly mention that Lex Luger was injured I guess he was in Japan. They did a Japan show, and he was injured in Japan, but he's also scheduled to wrestle tonight or something. So I don't really understand why that was necessary to tell us. But there you go. Like, again, he's injured. The NWO attacked him in Japan. He's injured, but we got him scheduled. So don't worry about it. Okay. All right. No problem. After that, though, we got Mean Gene. We'll see if that picks up. And he's with Diamond Dallas Page and Kimberly for a little chat in the aisle, because DDP is man of the people. He does his interviews in the aisleway. Tell me about the DDP interview.
Kimberly almost eats it on the way out. You can see her stumble. There'll be a little callback later on where she comes out a little bit later because DDP will be in another thing. And she decides to take off her high heels. It's kind of a little funny spot where it's like, if you know, you know, kind of thing. Mean Gene asks DDP about if he can do it again. Can he once again beat the Macho Man Randy Savage? DDP mentions his beginnings in nightclubs and bar fights, which is true, but nothing compared to Spring Stampede, which was a defining moment. You define the moment, or the moment defines you. Savage, DDP defines you. Bang! It's great. Gene says Kimberly was there through it all, which is also true. She says, yeah, and Savage claims that she's into him. The guy has a one-track mind, but the traffic is light, which I actually thought was a pretty good line, to be fair. And then all of a sudden we hear, "Oh, yeah! What are you talking about, little girl? Lies, lies, lies. What are you going to tell your husband? That you're fantasizing about the Macho Man? Everybody wants the Macho Man Randy Savage. Kimberly, quit calling me. Quit writing me. You wish you had the Macho Man." And then DDP says he has 2 words for the Macho Man: Diamond Cutter. And then Mach says, "Too bad that I'm her. I'd come down there right now and kick your ass." It's not my favorite segment between the two of them. I'm going to give it a gentleman's B, but it is still entertaining and probably the best night on the thing on the night that is not Lee Marshall.
I was gonna say, you better watch your mouth. But I agree. I agree. Because what starts to happen starting about now, this shit's coming off the rails. Buckle up, everybody. Because it's about to go off the rails. But first, we get a match. We get Jeff Jarrett versus Alex Wright for about 1:30. Tell me.
A technical showcase this is not, but it does pump up the crowd. So there you go. Jarrett clips Alex Wright's leg and he locks in the figure 4 for the win. I mean, I'm going to give this a C. I'm going to be nice about it. They don't have a lot of time to work with. We like Alex Wright. Jeff Jarrett's good in the ring. Not my favorite wrestler, but he's good in the ring. He knows what he's doing. Safe. That's all you can fucking care about. I'm giving it a C. It's an optimistic C.
I mean, sadly, for WCW, the match of the night. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
And it's not like I'm not saying sadly because we don't like these guys. I think they're both 2 competent wrestlers and they wrestle a good match, but it's 1:30 and it's nothing. Yeah. It's nothing. But yeah, so that's the match of the night because, well, I'm not going to spoil it just yet.
Well, we have 2 more matches.
That's right. Exactly. We have 2 more matches. So right of you to notice that and to make mention of the fact that we have 2 more matches. So luckily, Glacier versus Lizmark Jr. is not the main event. Luckily, we have another match, and Glacier versus Lizmark Jr. for 17 seconds thereabouts is not the main event. So why don't you tell me about that match quickly, Joseph, and then we can get into the main event that we've all been waiting for.
Glacier wins immediately, and then he gets attacked by Mortis and James Vanderbeek, and then Wrath comes out and helps attack, and bleh, F. Moving on.
And we're here. We're ready for our main event. Oh, Lex Luger's really is apparently hurt, and there's no main event.
Yeah. Well, no, there is a main event. I mean, Giant comes out. Yeah, Giant comes out.
I mean, Harlem Heat comes out too.
Yeah. Harlem Heat comes out. Giant comes out. And Giant goes, look, he grabs a mic and he says, we all know Luger isn't here because he's hurt, but he does have a partner, and it's Diamond Dallas Page. Boom, there's your main event. And of course, we have a banger of a match, right, Scott? Right?
Yeah.
Right, Scott?
Why don't you just tell him?
All right. Kimberly decides, like I said earlier, to take off her heels. She starts walking down, and then there's Mach with Miss Elizabeth. DDP grabs one of the crutches that Mach has dropped, and he hides behind Liz, and DDP threatens to swing, but he doesn't really want to hit Liz. So, he's a gentleman, doesn't want to hit Liz. And then out of nowhere, Hogan grabs the other crutch, and he attacks DDP. Mach grabs Kimberly, and the rest of the NWO attack DDP, then everyone in the ring. By the way, this is where it was. Mike Wall Street, who was removed from the NWO weeks ago, is in the NWO. Jesus fucking Christ. Flair, Piper, and Kevin Green run in, but they all get beat up, because of course they do. Hogan and Mach take over commentary. They don't say really anything notable, except for Hogan says they have everything under control, and they jeer the WCW as we fade to black, and this is another F. This is a bad show.
It's like how many times can you do this? This is like every single night. It's the end of every pay-per-view for like months. It's like every other episode ends with NWO beating the crap out of everybody, and we end with them just standing over people. It's boring. I've seen it.
So there's an episode that me and Scott are, a little bit ahead on, and we're watching it. And of course the NWO comes out, because of course they do. Mm-hmm. And one of them makes mention that, 16 months ago, and me and Scott went, Jesus Christ, it's been 16 months. Are you fucking kidding me? That's how bad this is.
It's over.
Yeah. Warn it's welcome.
Done.
Let me be clear.
It is done.
Let's be clear. There is a way that you could have made the NWO last 2-3 years. Not
you gonna give
this
your
way.
Theory?
Yes. Okay. So here's what you do.
Give your theory.
Hogan dominates year one because he has to. NWO does not work the way it needed to without Hogan. 100% agree. Also in this theory, Hogan doesn't have creative control, because that was a fucking nightmare of a mistake. But, just bear with me. Hogan dominates year one. Starrcade, Roddy Piper beats Hogan because he fucking should have at Starrcade, and he gets the fucking title because that's what should have fucking happened. Anyways, he beats Hogan. Hogan's on a rampage to get the title back, so he's making Scott Hall and Kevin Nash do all this shit for him. Kevin Nash starts going, hold on a second, you're at Hollywood premieres, you're shooting things, you're on cruises, you're at the beach, you're never fucking here, but we're doing all the grunt work. And Kevin Nash starts getting a little upset about it. So finally one day, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they usurp Hogan. He's out of the NWO. Give Hogan a nice vacation. Let him go away for a while and film all his bullshit that goes straight to VHS. And then,
and I say I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in here because I feel like I'm just going to add a little something, because I think it's perfect, because he is doing all the movie stuff.
Yeah.
And if it's gone to his head. He's acting like he's the star of the movie, because he is,
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, you guys are my gophers.
Yeah.
Because on movie sets, they have these people whose job is just to do whatever the star wants. Go get me a coffee, go get me a donut, whatever it is. And if he was just like straight up like, well, like, brother, the star of the movie, has his grips or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be so it's obvious.
Yeah. So then Kevin Nash, because he had that fire promo a few weeks ago that went nowhere, and he cuts that same promo, and it leads to a Kevin Nash Hulk Hogan showdown. Hulk Hogan's like, you're not in the NWO, blah, blah. Scott Hall betrays Hulk Hogan. Kevin Nash is the new leader of the NWO. The next night on Nitro, Kevin Nash, he trims the fat. Anyone who is not him, Hall, Six, we're going to keep Buff Bagwell, is out of the NWO. Don't need them. They're gone. They're all fired, right? And you go with that core. And that's the new NWO. And you run with that for a year until Sting, does his whole triumphant everything. And you have a choice here. This really is the logical end, is Kevin Nash is the new leader and eventually NWO fades to black when Kevin Nash finally drops title. That's your natural end. However,
fades to black NWO.
Mm-hmm. However,
you're writing poetry.
You could theoretically, if Scott Hall was in a better place, make him the third and final leader. It's risky, but it could work if you do it right. But let's say you don't bank on that. That's a 2-year storyline at max. And we're almost at that. And they are a travesty.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, at some point they split NWO up and we have NWO Hollywood and NWO Wolfpack. Yeah. I think that works for a bit.
It works because NWO Wolfpack is so cool, but it's not good. The red and black is so cool, but it's not good.
There we go. All right. You've heard it here first. NWO Wolfpack is cool, but bad.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see if that holds up once we get there.
Can't wait.
We'll see if that holds up. Yeah. But we're already there at Raw, that we have pulled into the parking lot at the Brown County Expo Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's where the Packers play. What?
Nothing,
I've got
man.
family. I got family in South Dakota, and some of them talk like that, so I can get away with doing that. Thank you.
Are those the same place?
They're like right next to each other. I mean, like South Dakota's next to Minnesota, which is next to Wisconsin, so that all counts. That all counts.
You in one move, you've pissed off our Minnesotan listeners, our Wisconsin,
of which there are
listeners,
legion,
and our South Dakotans listeners, Dakota listeners.
Sure.
Yeah, they're all gone. They're all gone.
There goes our double subscribers, just because that was all them.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it though, because this is the go home show. This is the show before the pay-per-view. So we start with a video package that explains everything. Like it's a very in-depth, long video package. This is if you haven't been watching for a month because you're watching the NWO do the same thing over and over again on the other program, here's what you've missed.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's good. It's just really.
Yeah. They're
tying it all up for us.
This is actually what they're doing like week in and week out now. Like they're going, hey, in case there's anything you missed, this is what you missed. And I think it's really smart because it lets you go, oh shit, should I have tuned into the other one? Or should I have stuck here and gotten that at the very end of my last episode? Works for me.
Yeah. Should I tune in to see Mankind win the WWF World Heavyweight title? As we'll discover, the answer is yes. But we'll see, because that comes later.
Yes, much later.
But it's an infamous, for followers of the pod, I'm sure they remember that, because it's kind of an infamous moment in WCW where they officially jumped the shark. But let's get back to today, because we got Vince, we got Jim, and we got Jerry. And we got the Hart Foundation.
Sure do.
So tell me about the Hart Foundation and Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart.
The Hart Foundation, like you said, comes out in full force. The notoriously Canadian group. Brett and Owen from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Davey Boy Smith from Goulburn, Lancashire, Canada. Jim the Anvil Neidhart from Montebello, California, Canada. And Brian Pillman from Cincinnati, Ohio, Canada. The 5 notorious Canadians. I don't actually care, but it does make me laugh that they're like the Canadian group.
Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be great if Jim Neidhart had been from Ontario, California?
Oh,
because that is a place.
Yes, it is. It is.
And they played it off like and Jim from Ontario, California, Canada. Just.
Why they didn't say that everyone was from Canada and do that as a bit, I have no idea. Anyways, Owen hilariously is wearing every title the group has. Both tag titles, the IC title and the European title whilst holding both Slammies, and it's fantastic. Bret grabs the mic and he thanks all his fans around the world for their support. The U.S. fans dumbly cheer, thinking this means them, until he insults America. He thanks Pillman for his heartfelt words and inspiration last week. He congratulates Owen and thanks him for dedicating his IC title victory to the Christman, Bret the Christman Hart. He thanks his best friend, the Anvil, for saving him from Austin. The Christman says Austin won't be here because he doesn't think Austin has the jam, which is actually a phrase that Bret keeps trying to get over, and it doesn't work. Austin is
better than Bite Me?
It's well, I guess that's not a fair comparison. This next one is Austin is a hyena. Is that better than Bite Me? Because he says that every promo as much as he can. And one time he says hyena, and it made me laugh.
Well, and he's still saying it.
Yes, yes.
Like, he's saying it on our watch, which is, I mean, we're getting closer. The timeline's starting to converge.
Yeah.
But
no, he's
still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Bret says that the audience hates him, or hates them rather, because they're jealous of all the gold they have, like the belts and Slammies and Anvil's tooth. And he asks Pillman about the golden rule. And Pillman says, do unto others and enjoy it. And then he laughs.
That's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Hart calls his pack of lions the best team in the world. He just started referring to them as the pack of lions, and I guess it makes sense with the whole hyena thing, except for hyenas travel in packs and lions really don't. Like, they don't attack. Anyway, whatever. Fuck it. Anyways, he realizes the people need him to destroy someone else, like they did Austin. So he chooses the only man for the job, and he chooses the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And says his pack of lions will target him tonight. He also says he guesses HBK has a bad knee. Surprise to him. Like, dude, this is the same thing that you said about yourself, that you had a bad knee, but made it look like you didn't. Whatever. Anyways, I won't digress on that because next week I'm going to have a lot to say about Bret Hart. Like all Bret promos, this does go on a little too long. However, it's not horrible. I actually found myself enjoying this significantly more. I'm going to give this one a B.
Wow, a Bret Hart got a B from you.
Yeah.
Because you are a notorious Bret Hart hater.
Promo hater.
Well,
okay, let's rephrase it. Bret Hart promo hater and Bret Hart individual hater. Bret Hart in the ring. Bret Hart in the ring. Lover. Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right. We get the slam of the week. It's Austin and Undertaker. They were doing signature, finishers back and forth last week, and it was good. It was a good match.
Yeah.
And so that was the slam of the week. I think that is a reasonable slam of the week. It's also from last week, which I appreciate, because it always annoyed me when they would do the slam of the week and it was like something that happened 5 minutes ago.
Or when it's like from 3 months ago and it's like, why is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I think this serves the purpose of look what you missed.
Yes.
From not watching. I think this serves a purpose. I think this is clever as opposed to, hey, 5 minutes ago, Sacco said powerbomb somebody, which they did. And it's like, no, we don't need that. We don't need that. But what we do need is Ahmed Johnson versus Rockabilly.
Absolutely.
Tell me about Ahmed Johnson versus Rockabilly, and I got the times. I got the real times this time. 3 minutes, 57 seconds.
Twice the Alex Wright and Jeff Jarrett match. That's insane. Farouk has a picture-in-picture and says he isn't impressed by Ahmed Johnson. He says that he recruited 3 big ghetto guys for Crush to defeat tonight to prove how strong Crush is and to prove that when they have this big old match between Ahmed Johnson and the 3 members of the Nation that he has to fight, Crush will take him out by himself. Honky distracts the ref. Honky Tonk Man's with Rockabilly, if that wasn't clear, but you should probably know that by now. Honky distracts the ref while Billy Gunn, or Rockabilly, grabs the guitar. But Ahmed Johnson just grabs it from him, and then he slams the guitar over Rockabilly's head. And the ref sees this and calls the DQ. So that's a finish. I gave it a D.
Oops.
Yeah.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? After that, the Hart Foundation is looking for Shawn. They want to beat his ass. And he's not rooming with Bob Holly.
No.
Because they go into Spark Plug Bob Holly's. And Spark Plug's like, what are you doing here? I kind of enjoyed it because he's just like, come on, guys. That was good. After that, we go to commercial, we come back, and we see them checking another locker room. No Shawn. We get a Ken Shamrock video package where they keep doing this weird thing.
This is week 2 of it. Yeah, this is the second part of it. Yeah.
This is the second one where they do this weird thing where he can kill a man 157 ways, but he also likes to teach his children's little league.
Yeah.
And then we show that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the purpose of these are. Why humanize him? Why?
I agree they shouldn't. Real quickly, I want to talk about the Hart Foundation looking for HBK thing. This is going to go on throughout the entire night, and it gets progressively better. Like, it starts off, like you mentioned, the Spark Plug Bob Holly thing, and that's like, okay, whatever. It gets way better as the night goes on. But going to this Ken Shamrock vignette, like we said, second straight week. They call it the looking behind, or the looking at the man behind the machine. That's their phrase they use. We see the man who kind of raised Ken Shamrock after he ran away from home. I guess this is actually true. Then we see his family and how he is a family man, and then the dog, and then doing what his real dad didn't for his family. So real quickly, behind the scenes, the actual story of Ken Shamrock is fucked up. Like, his childhood sucked, but this is such an odd choice to display it. Like, it's weird. They probably shouldn't. That could have come out way later. There's ways you could have worked that in. It ain't here. This ain't the place for it. We also see Ken Shamrock's really bad dog who doesn't walk right, and it's hilarious because he just keeps pulling the leash, and that's fun. I'm not saying this is actually bad, by the way. It's just like, why?
It makes no sense from a story angle.
Yeah, I'm giving it a C, but I could have done without it.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? It's not bad from like a production standpoint or put together. And Ken Shamrock apparently really did have a very kind of tough upbringing, which is sad and all of that. But what purpose does that serve in this storyline that he's like, he kills people, like he beats the crap out of everybody? Like, that's the guy,
right?
He's a fighter. He's a machine. But he also has a heart of gold. Why? I don't know. I don't get it. Is it to, they do this, and then we have the Vader Goldust match, and obviously Ken Shamrock and Vader have kind of have a thing going, and maybe that's to show the difference between the two men, that Ken Shamrock is, he's a killer like Vader, but he's also a real nice guy. Meanwhile, Vader is creating international incidents in Kuwait.
Yeah. I definitely think there's some merit to that, but I think the Shamrock calling him a bully repeatedly and being there to save multiple people from Vader, I think that's enough. I don't think you need any more beyond that to show the differences in them.
Well, let's get into the match, because I mentioned it. I've already hyped it. Vader versus Goldust, 8 minutes, 22 seconds. Also far longer than the only real match of WCW at like 1:20.
Yeah. Shamrock joins on commentary for this. Vader eventually starts jawing with Shamrock as we head to commercial. We come back, and Vader is back to beating up Goldust. Vader wins clean with the Vader bomb. I have to believe someone else could have taken this loss other than Goldust, seeing as he has his own rivalry right now, but whatever. Vader spits at Ken Shamrock, who runs in and takes him down. But Mankind comes out to help Vader. Goldust evens things up because, okay, Mankind's not in a rivalry with either of these people, but sure, why not? I don't hate this. I'm just disappointed. I gave it a D.
You gonna hate what comes next, though.
Yes, I do. Unfortunately,
as we finish with Goldust crumpled and defeated on the floor, we go to a sit-down interview.
Mm-hmm.
The man behind the Goldust. We talked to Dustin, we say his real name,
Yep.
and Terry. We say the real names, Dustin and Terry Reynolds, the real people. This is the real people. And this is horribly uncomfortable. This is about, this has got to be a Vince thing where he's like, I want you to say bad things about your dad because he's on a competitor program. But that's what this is. It's about the strained and fractured relationship, which is true. I think is real.
Yes.
Between Dustin and Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
And it is uncomfortable.
Right.
Is it not?
Yeah, no, it is. So we'll do a real quick sum up in case this is the first one you've tuned into or you don't know this somehow. Dustin Rhodes, who is Goldust, is the son of the very famous Dusty Rhodes and brother to the now very famous Cody Rhodes, right? The Rhodes dynasty, the Rhodes family, all that. Great wrestlers. However, at this point in Dustin's life, and this is true, him and his dad don't talk. They are not very close. They had a falling out. Now, Dustin himself had quite a bit of, how do I describe this? Self-confidence issues. They may have stemmed from his father. The father that Dustin got versus the father that Cody got are two different dads. They are very different in age. And that's okay. That happens. But unfortunately, their egos take control because now Dustin is an adult. I'm sure part of it was seeing how therefore Cody Dusty is. That's probably, I'm sure that's speculation. I'm not saying that's reality, just speculation. But there's layers to this of why they are not on the same page. And one of the big tipping points is that Dustin started to date and eventually marry Terry Runnels, who is Marlena. And Terry Runnels being in the wrestling industry
business.
Yes. Because she is a woman and she's attractive. A lot of guys like to talk about how they banged her when they did not. And so Dusty had this idea in his head that she was going to try to steal all of Dustin's money and that she was cheating on him and all these horrible things that Marlena,
she got around.
That Terry Reynolds never did. She seems like a lovely person, everything I've seen from her. So it was,
even though she and Dustin are now divorced, they still speak very highly of each other. It was just Dustin had some demons, and it wasn't working. But I think they still got a lot of love for each other. Mm-hmm. Still speak very highly of each other. So clearly, they,
I mean, they they have a daughter, and they got to be, grandparents to that daughter's child. So they're the family exists, right? So, but this is a bad point for them. For specifically Dustin and Dusty, and somebody made the call that we should put this on TV. Could have been Vince McMahon. It could have been Vince Russo, because both of them are stupid like this. It's really bad. Essentially, both men's egos took control. They will make up eventually, thankfully, but it'll take years before that ever happens. During this, Dustin starts to kind of tear up, lamenting on his lost relationship with his father. It's going to get worse next week.
Yep.
I think the only positive...
It's a two-part.
Yes.
It's a two-part sit-down.
I think the only positive I can call out of this is that Dustin actually mentions, because of the character that he's playing in Goldust, that he's starting to understand more of the suffering going on with individuals who are gay. Now, at the time in the 90s, gay wasn't really seen as a spectrum like it is now. So that was just kind of a blanket statement. But because of this, he's starting to kind of associate and understand, their difficulties. So that's the only silver lining that I can pull from this whole thing.
But he understands how the gays, I think is the term he uses, are treated because, and we got to take a jab at Scott Hall.
Yes.
Because remember, he takes a jab at Scott Hall, saying that Scott Hall didn't want to wrestle him in the Goldust outfit because apparently this is, again, allegedly, we're not saying this. The implication is that Scott Hall's homophobe. That's the implication they make.
Which, by the way, we talked about when that happened. We talked about on the podcast. Scott Hall didn't want to have to, he's getting questions from his son. It was uncomfortable for him. A whole slew of things. You can make of it what you will. it is what it is. But yes, that is, and also because Scott Hall is on a competing company, let's find a way to take a shot at him as well. So
take a dig.
Yeah. So it's, I gave it an F. I don't like any of it.
Yeah, it's, we talked about this kind of similarly because there's another angle in a couple of months with Goldust and Terry and Brian Pillman.
Yes.
And we're both kind of feeling it out to see how we like it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to you about how I like wrestling because I know it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
And that I know the people aren't getting hurt and kind of all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big like boxing guy or MMA guy because I'm a softie. I don't want to see people get hurt. And so I know that in wrestling, if they're doing it right, they're not getting hurt. And it's really just kind of it's an entertainment thing. And so when stuff gets too real for me, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I don't want to know this. And this is real.
Right.
Like the stuff that happens later, this storyline that I'm alluding to that happens later is all for show. It's all fake. This is 100% real. They might be taking some liberties here and there to shit on WCW or whatever, but the strained relationship between Dustin and Dusty is real, and the fact that they are using it for ratings or whatever is just very uncomfortable with me. It's similar to what WCW did with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
I didn't like that.
Yep.
I don't like this. It's like, leave these people's personal lives alone. This is a story. These are characters. Stay there.
Yeah.
I don't want it. But what I do want, you had a thought. I was going to segue, but you have a thought.
No, I want to hear the segue.
What I do want is the Hart Foundation beating the shit out of someone in a bathroom.
Yes.
Because that is what I get.
Yes.
They go in the bathroom looking for Shawn Michaels and they see someone with long hair. It must be him.
Absolutely.
Is it not, Joseph?
Yeah. Well, because in 1990s wrestling, no one has long hair other than Shawn Michaels.
Only one guy.
Yeah.
Only one guy. It's nobody.
Yeah. It's somebody we have no idea what it is. They beat the hell out of this guy, and then someone in there goes, wait, it's not him. And they all look at this guy, and this guy looks back up at them, and then they go, and they start beating him up again. And I laughed so hard. This segment shouldn't get a grade, but I'm giving it an A+. It's fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets goofy. And we like goofy in our wrestling. But the next thing, goofy, but not in a good way. This next thing is goofy and not in a good way. Well, you think it's a good way? I am interested now.
I kind of
We got Crush.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we got Crush versus 3 big bad ghetto dudes.
Yeah.
Ghetto dudes. So tell me about this Crush versus 3 ghetto dudes for 1:55.
Yeah. BBGDs. Farouk introduces the BBGDs that Crush is going to be fighting. And I don't know how to tell Farouk this. I'm starting to question whether or not he actually knows what the street is like. Because these are some white boy motherfuckers. They are not impressive. Crush crushes the first one. Then he crushes the second one. That's real quick. And then the third man comes out. He's wearing like a stocking over his head. You can't see who he is. You cannot tell who this giant, muscularly steroided man is. It's impossible. He's wearing that like a parka. There's no way you can see who it is. And then...
Is it La Parka?
Oh, it might be. Then La Parka hits a Pearl River plunge, and he gets the win on Crush. And we realize once La Parka removes his mask, that he's actually none other than Ahmed Johnson. So fun fact for you at home, La Parka, Ahmed Johnson, same person. Farouk is incensed, and I honestly kind of like this because you just said it. We like Goofy, and this is the epitome of Goofy. It's so obviously not the third guy, and it ends up being Ahmed, and I love it. It's stupid, but I loved it. I gave it a B.
And it's obviously Ahmed from the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you know who it is. And yeah, okay, all right, I'll give it to you. I just don't like Crush. I hate this version of the Nation, so I find it hard to like anything related to this version of the Nation. But it is pretty goofy. I like the Sting taking the mask off to reveal that it's the Sting mask to be the Sting mask.
Yeah.
What's his face on AEW did a great bit. Hangman Adam Page did a great bit. I like shit like that. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna say fine. After that, though, we got Sable, and she wants you to buy an Austin 316 shirt because she out modeling it.
She when you buy it, she in it?
I don't know. Maybe if you pay extra. But I'm gonna guess she sold a lot of Austin 316 shirts.
Yeah, tune in next week where everyone's wearing an Austin 316 shirt.
I think she might have sold some shirts.
Yeah, probably.
And that brings us to our next hour. We know it's hour number 2. They don't do all the pyro. They kind of do sometimes, right?
I don't know if they do the pyro, but they do the intro over again.
Yes. Yeah. WCW does the pyro for hour number 2, which is why I always announce it, because it's a big spectacle. I don't really announce hour number 2, but I'm announcing hour number 2 this time to just remind you that they're on for 2 hours and WCW is only on for 1 because of the playoffs. Or not the playoffs, the NBA finals.
No, I mean, it was the playoffs. It was the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, was it the MLB playoffs?
No, NBA playoffs. It was the NBA playoffs.
Oh,
because right now, in real time, the NBA playoffs are going on. Same time period. You know what I mean?
I don't watch basketball, so I don't know. This is all a foreign concept to me. Anyways, we got Shawn Michaels.
Well,
he's in the ring.
Before we do,
okay, you want to tell us more?
The Harts are looking for Shawn Michaels, they're outside looking underneath the production trucks, and I laugh.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're looking all over for him. It turns out Shawn is in the ring.
Yes,
with Vince. And he's got some things to get off his chest. So tell me about it, Joseph.
Yeah, he somehow snuck past all of the Harts. Vin Man shows HBK saving Austin prior week, or 2 weeks ago, I think it was. HBK says he knows what Vin Man is going to ask. Where is Austin? He doesn't know, nor does he care. Because remember, when that happened, Shawn was like, hey, I didn't save you. I attacked them. We are on a team. I just hate them. And I like that angle, to be clear. But HBK does tell Austin that he can't take on the Harts by himself. It's okay if he wants to, but HBK may be around not to help Austin, but to hurt the Harts. Again, same message. I like it. Makes sense. HBK says it seems to be the thing to do these days to trash the fans. This is true. Top stars of both WCW and WWF are doing this, by the way. So that's actually kind of factual. HBK says that the trend that's the trend, but he doesn't follow trends. He starts them. So he will suck up to the fans because someone needs to. Vin Man asks about the Hart searching for him. He says he's not hiding. He tells them that they may run in a pack, but the Click runs in a herd. And I will say kind of a misstep. The Click thing, it's like, it's over.
They're trying to make it a thing. And it's not working.
Yeah, stop it. Vin Man asks, when is Shawn coming back to the ring? HBK says he will return at King of the Ring in a month. He says it's funny that Bret Hart cuts down Americans when he doesn't mind making American dollars. He tells Bret to go ahead and leave the USA. He says he can fight the Christ Man. He will tear him to pieces. HBK dances and then the Harts appear on the Titantron. Bret says he should have wiped out Shawn weeks ago. Hart tries to attack Shawn verbally and falls flat on his face. Bret tells HBK to accept a challenge from Jim the Anvil Neidhart tonight. Jim Neidhart comes out, and he and HBK go at it for like 1 second, and then the rest of the Harts attack HBK. But Legion of Doom come in to help out. We fade to commercial, and we come back, and Shawn is looking for the Harts with the steel chair. This actually lasts a little bit too long, I'll be honest, and HBK doesn't really have a direction here. It's obvious Austin does, but HBK is a little bit lost in the shuffle. I'm still giving it a B because it's not horrible, but you can kind of tell like HBK doesn't really have a point yet. And that's kind of going to be the next few, honestly, months until, we break it down a little.
Break it down. Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, that brings us to, you mentioned it. Legion of Doom comes out. They help out Shawn against the Harts, and they're out there not just because they're good guys. They come out because they got a match. They're fighting Doug Furnas. I don't even know how you say it. I think it's Furnas.
No, they say Furnace. So
yeah. But it is a little French. Is it a little French flair like Furnas? And Phil Lafon. So you gotta say that like that, right?
Absolutely.
Or is it Laughing? Or
no,
is it,
no.
I always like that Lafon. But I always like that when people have clearly European names that we've just made American or in this case Canadian, because they are Canadians, right? Like my last name is more like Kaufman, and it's Kaufman, bro. It don't matter.
Wow, because when you say it that way, you start to think a little evil.
Wow. Well, let's talk about Legion of Doom versus Doug Furnas and Phil Lafon, because there's no way the Legion of Doom is going to lose this 7-minute 54-second match, right? It's the Legion.
It's impossible. During the match, backstage, HBK is being held back by WWF officials, and then British Bulldog distracts Animal. Meanwhile, Owen Hart interferes, and he helps the Canadians win. Holy crap. Shawn is attacking the Harts, and then out of nowhere, a door opens, and here comes Steve Austin. He just starts swinging too. This isn't horrible. There's a lot going on here. I'm giving it a C. It's fine.
Yeah. You're right. There is a lot going on.
Yeah.
But there's more going on. But that's more than what WCW got going on, which is almost nothing. So I'm for it. Because we got Stone Cold back in action. I love me some Stone Cold. So I'm liking this HBK Stone Cold team up that we've kind of got going on here. Yeah. I think it can work.
I like begrudging allies. That's always a thing that I think works really well.
Yeah, this is a very the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. They don't like each other. They don't trust each other. But they've got beef with the Hearts, so we'll do what we got to do. After that, though, Vince is in the ring with the Undertaker. And he's got his title jacked.
Yes.
Somebody jacked his title. The WWF title. And he wants it back. And he wants it back before he beats Stone Cold Steve Austin's ass for the cold day in hell. That pretty much sums it up, but if you want to add more.
Yeah, he says whoever stole it's playing a deadly game. His patience is wearing thin. And then literally what you said, he's like, Austin's furious flame will be extinguished. But I think he said something about beat his ass, but in the furious flame and extinguished.
Yeah. But more poetic.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because during this, Taker's trying to be really imposing. But he's just got these luscious flowing locks.
It's beautiful.
It's just the nicest flowing long hair. But sorry, he can't have long hair because only Shawn Michaels does.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he definitely went to the salon before this episode because he's looking good. He got the blowout. He got the works. It looks so good.
Yeah, I gave it a C+. It's something great, but it's not bad by any stretch.
Yeah. And I will say, if you didn't think if Sable was not enough for you to buy an Austin 316 shirt, maybe Sunny will be. Because she's got an Austin 316 shirt on and no pants. It's just a shirt.
Yeah.
And Jerry is a pervert. He says that, you won't believe it. He says that t-shirt would look great on his bedroom floor. And there you have it.
Yep. If you're new to the show, if you have not been listening since day one of us, and potentially both of us, hates Jerry the King Lawler.
I'm not ready to give up on Jerry. The nostalgia of Jerry and Jim Ross on commentary is strong. And we haven't gotten yet to, I think, we haven't even really gotten to it yet on our watch because Vince hasn't become Mr. McMahon yet.
It comes and goes. Yeah. Sometimes it happens, sometimes not, but it's not consistent. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm just waiting for that moment because I remember loving those two guys going at it. And so I think this is going to be another WCW for me where I'm like, oh, this isn't as good as I remember, but I'm hoping. I've got real hope for Jim and Jerry. Why are you laughing? After that, we go back. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He refused medical attention because he don't give a shit.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about the pain. What a guy! I mean, that's it. That's really it. You got anything more to add? Because that's it. It's just that flashback. And then we've got our main event for the European Championship,
and it's Glacier versus.
No. We got real people this time. We got real people. Our favorite European wrestlers, because as you know, only Europeans can compete for the European title.
Yes.
British Bulldog, Owen Hart, all those guys.
Yeah.
Because Canada's in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Europe adjacent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They ain't American. Hate us because they ain't us. What? Anyways, I probably shouldn't do that right now because relations between the United States and Canada kind of heated. So if we got any Canadian listeners, that might kind of incense them.
Yeah, we should probably be clear. Don't agree with that bullshit. And we can move.
I got no beef with you. Yeah. I got no beef with you, Canada. But we got Davey Boy Smith versus the European sensation, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Tell me about this. Hold on. Let me look. 13-minute, 2-second match. Wow.
I like that you said that because my first note is this is a fun and lengthy match that sees Austin hit a surprising stunner on a rope rebound. I know I kind of went through that match really quickly because a lot happens right after it. The Harts, of course, attack as Pillman and Brett look on in a monitor. They're backstage. Owen is attacking Austin with a belt, and wouldn't you know it, it's the WWF Championship. Legion of Doom help out when Furnas and Lafon come out to help too, which, by the way, they come out to help, and Owen randomly starts swinging at them, which makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Like, you think all the Canadians would be together, but Owen didn't get the memo. Shawn runs in to join the fray. Then we hear a gong, and the lights go out. They come back on, and Taker is in the ring, hitting all the Canadians. The Hart Foundation gets chased off, and the faces are in the ring. Get a face-off between Austin and Taker. Austin goes to leave, but Taker starts swinging. He ain't doing this second week in a row. No, I'm taking the fight to you. Mm-hmm. They then take the fight outside of the ring. WWF officials try to separate them. Taker throws Austin into the steel steps, but Austin returns the favor, and they finally get pulled apart as we fade to black. And this is a very fun end of the show, and I'm giving it an A.
And that's it. We're out.
Yep.
That's the end of this is a go-home show for the pay-per-view. And now I got to ask, but I know the answer. I know what you're going to say. You can't pull one over on me. Who wins? Does WWF or WCW win?
WCW absolutely crushed WWF.
I think that's fair. And honestly, it's not even on the strength of the card because I don't feel like the card was particularly strong tonight for either show.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
1 minute matches. By the way,
there was
hold on, real quick,
17 seconds.
Real quick, you said I couldn't pull one over on you, and I said WCW absolutely crushed WWF, and you just kept rolling with it.
Yeah, because you bullshit. Because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You told me before we started because I was looking at the card again because it hadn't. We've watched several of these in preparation for this show, and so which one this was hadn't completely returned to my memory, and I'm just looking at the card going, "Ooh, this could be WCW's got a chance." And you're like, "No way, no way." So I knew, it's WWF. Clearly, WWF won on the power of its stories again. And I'm not going to go on another rant about stories, except to say, no, I'm just kidding.
Write down in the comments if I actually pulled the fast one on him and he's just trying to pretend that I didn't.
No, you didn't pull a fast one.
I got you so hard. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
I knew I mean, I didn't hear you say it. I just kind of just assumed you said WWF because I know it's WWF. But I guess, you might have gotten one by me because that wasn't even in my realm of possibilities. Because it wasn't good.
No.
The 17. I mean, how can you beat Glacier and Lizmark Jr. for 17 seconds?
We never even mentioned that no one knows who Lizmark Jr. is.
Let me click it. Let me click it because I got the card here. He is a Mexican wrestler. He is best known. Juan Carlos Banos. Best known as Lizmark Jr. or El Hijo del Lizmark, which doesn't that just mean like the son of Lizmark?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I mean, he's
I don't.
Junior.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know who he is. Like he's not on my spectrum of known luchadors. He may be on yours. Let us know if you're like, hey, that actually looks like great matches.
You don't know who the famous El Hijo del Lizmark is? Oh, I don't either. I do not know either, but he's from Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico. We'll see if that picked up. I got one in, and I tried to keep it a little softer.
Yeah.
A little softer. But that does it for us. Like, comment, subscribe, smash all the buttons. Just start hitting them.
just
and that'll get
you your computer.
Yeah. That'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
If you're very upset that we didn't know who Lizmark Jr. was, put it in the comments. If you like what we're doing, tell us. If you don't like what we're doing, tell us. We're doing this for you at this point because we don't want to live, because we've lost the will to live. So tell us what you enjoy, and that's what we're gonna do. When I hear that someone listens for Juventud Guerrera, for my pronunciation of that, and they don't get it because I've blown out my microphone, I spend $120 and get a new mic. That's what we're doing for you. This is the People's Podcast.
We can't change the title of the podcast midway through. That's really good.
You smell what I'm cooking?
Yeah. Can you do The Rock now?
No, because it would blow out the mic.
Oh, gotcha.
But when I do have it, we'll smell what I'm cooking. And I think that does it, man. Are you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see you next week and on Patreon for the pay-per-view. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.